I love it. Okay, we are live. It's fantastic.
Yay!
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, all the things.
Mhm.
I am talking with Emily Farber out of Iowa City, Iowa. Emily, tell my people.
Yes, I am a real estate agent in Iowa City, Iowa, which is located in East Central Iowa. It is home of the Iowa Hawkeyes, which is a Big Ten team, if you follow that. So that's where I am and what I do.
I love it. And you've served a lot of people moving from California to your state. Am I right?
I have. I've helped quite a few California clients who seem to be doing some sort of exodus from California.
Some
And they wash up here on the shores of Iowa City. Just kidding. We have no oceans here. We're
landlocked.
A lot of people might consider the Midwest to be flyover territory. I would challenge you to reconsider. There is natural beauty. It's a more quiet natural beauty than crashing oceans or giant mountain ranges, but Iowa's not just flat and not just cornfields and not just pigs. So.
Oh, well, I mean, then that just means it's normal, like the rest of the country. We all have our things, right?
Right.
Does it get hot there?
It does. In the summer, we get some pretty high humidity, and it's routinely up in the 80s and 90s. Sometimes it tops out over 100, and we're all melting. And then in the winter, it gets really darn cold. Iowa is a fairly windy state, so we have cold weather. Like, it's not unusual for it to be in the 20s, the teens, sometimes down to zero, even below zero. Then we have the wind chill that's added on top of that. Iowa has a level of humidity in the air. So in the summer, it's humid, it's sticky. And then in the winter, the cold has some humidity, some moisture to the air. So I've lived in Iowa and other places. When I was finishing up my college degree, I actually lived in Wyoming for a while. I worked for a newspaper out there, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna freeze to death in Wyoming." And I found the weather in Wyoming to be nothing at all because the air was so dry. So I would just walk around with my coat hanging open. It didn't bother me a bit.
Wow.
The difference between the dry air and the cold air, or the dry air and the moist air, makes a difference. So it does get cold. Make friends with your heated steering wheel and heated seats in your car. And
it's funny because as cold as it gets there is as hot as it gets here with not a lick of humidity. We have triple digits deep. I mean, it's going to be 92 today.
Oh, yeah.
It's October 21st, and it's going to be 92 today. So, but there's no humidity. I mean, we don't have any humidity. I mean, it's crazy how very, very dry it is compared to, like, obviously, look at my last name. Hang on, let me take that away. My last name, obviously, I married a Polish guy, and he's from Chicago, so I get you on the wind and the weight of it. Because when I go there, I'm like, I can't feel my arms when we go outside. When we go there in the winter, I'm like, okay, I gotta go inside. My thin California blood is freezing up.
So now, see, when I go out west, I'm like, my skin, I'm shriveling up. My lips are chapped. I'm getting a bloody nose. What's going on?
Oh my God, it's so dry. Are you an Iowa native?
I am. I am a local yokel, born and raised in Iowa City. I've left and come back a couple times.
Oh, so you went to Wyoming for college, and then you've done other things.
I had my internship in Wyoming. I lived a couple different places in Iowa, and I have lived briefly in Indiana, briefly in Idaho, and I just keep coming back here.
Because it's home.
I guess. Yeah.
So when you're not selling real estate, are we going to find you out and about in Iowa City?
Yes, you will find me out and about.
My
husband and I, we have 4 kids.
All right.
And so lots of kid activities. They're all teenagers now, which adds a whole nother level of excitement and danger.
Are they driving?
They are.
My daughter started driving. I don't like it a bit.
Yeah. Not a bit. 3 of the 4 are driving, and 3 of the 4 are boys. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
The girl who missed?
the girl is number 3.
Oh, okay.
She's driving on a school permit. So she's a 15-year-old out there on the road.
Ugh. I don't like it. I mean, there's a lot of things that I was like, as they grow up, I'm like, oh, I'm ready for this. But this, I'm still, and it's only been like a month, and I'm like, I don't like it a bit. Everybody says, oh, you're gonna get to like it. I'm like, I'll wait for that.
Yeah. So I mean, when I'm not doing family stuff or mom stuff, I am doing a lot of real estate stuff. I'm fairly busy real estate agent. I work full time at it, and it keeps me hopping.
Your channel. I'm going to show your channel. Hang on.
Okay.
Share my screen. I'm going to be all official.
All right.
Share my screen, all the things, and show your cute channel. Look at this.
There I
am. 5 hidden gems. What was one of the ones I watched yesterday? It was about which one was it? Was it I think it was the Myths Busted. I love that one. Oh, that was the one where you went and chatted with your clients. I loved that one.
Yeah, I went and chatted with a bunch of clients who had moved here from out of state or out of country to have them give me their perspective on myths or misconceptions that they had heard about Iowa and what they really thought about it now that they lived here.
I love it. I think that's fantastic. I think that was, I might be doing that one.
Steal away.
FYI. Mm-hmm. So when people are moving there, what is the industry that's bringing them there mainly? Because I know there's a lot of us that are bringing people to our areas. Like in Central California, I've got Northern and Southern Cal moving here because they can work from home for the big tech in Northern Cal and some of the bigger companies in Southern Cal. What about in your area?
Yeah, so in the COVID and post-COVID world, we saw a fair amount of people who could also work remotely, and they just wanted a totally different location. They wanted a community that they could afford to comfortably live in that was still large enough that it gave them a little bit of that more metropolitan feel, which Iowa City, I think, strives towards. Where I think by California scale, we are a small place. So when I talk about the Iowa City Metro, I'm talking about Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, and Tiffin. Those are all contiguous. They're all jammed together, and there's about 120,000 people there.
I'm going to show it again.
So, keep talking. Okay, so I mean, I have helped a lot of people who are just working remotely, and their jobs are far off, and they just want to live in this idyllic Midwestern town. Otherwise, people move here for employment or family reasons. Our largest employers here in the Iowa City area are the University of Iowa and the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics. Then we've got the VA hospital, we've got Mercy Hospital, a lot of medical and healthcare related field type jobs, a lot of education, higher education jobs, and then research and education jobs.
Awesome. So there is a lot of opportunity, not just for working in your community, but also the remote home work from home world that, like you said, we all live in now.
Yeah.
And then, so are they back to your sports teams and that, and that was college you were talking about?
Yeah, the University of Iowa.
Okay.
The Hawkeyes.
And then what's the other team? Do people play hockey?
So this is a rough bit of news for some people. There are no pro teams in Iowa. I'm sorry. It's all college sports. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
You can root for the Hawkeyes. You can root for the Iowa State Cyclones. You could root for the Northern Iowa Panthers. You could ignore all of that and choose your other pro teams, in other states. But we don't have pro teams here. We do have. I mean, we've got there's a new hockey facility that was completed in Coralville a year or two ago. So we have a team called the Rough Riders, but they're not. I don't know what the different levels are that you call them, but they're regional.
Okay.
I don't know what the words are. Yeah.
If it's like a Big Ten, if it's a Big Ten, or if it's SEC or whatever, I don't know how it works in hockey either. Like level 1, level 2. Yeah. Whatever. I'm with you.
I'm sure someone will leave us a comment educating us.
Let's hope. So you were mentioning that you had a lot of Californians moving there, or maybe you didn't, and maybe that was our conversation yesterday, but
Yeah.
you are helping Californians. And then what is the other state or community that is coming there on a regular basis?
I'm getting a lot of Californians. I have had several clients from Washington and then quite a few from Texas. So,
Texas, that surprises me.
yeah, yeah.
Because Texas is even hotter than here.
Maybe it's the weather they can't stand, or, real estate prices have really, really skyrocketed there. So they may just be feeling priced out.
So that's a really good question. Thank you for segueing that
Mhm.
for me. So if somebody is going to sell here in California and they're going to sell, a $450,000 house, what would that look like on a purchase? Are we buying a townhome there? Are we buying a condo?
Mhm.
Are we buying, acreage? What does that look like there?
So for 450,000, you could easily step into a nicely remodeled existing house or new construction. 450 is about the starting point for a single family new construction house here. And I guess just like the typical one would probably be a 4 to 5 bedroom ranch, main floor and basement.
Okay.
Do you guys do basements there?
Not a lot. Nope. We do
Um,
have earthquakes, so they
yeah.
don't have a lot of them, but we do every once in a while have a property with a basement.
Okay. So square footage wise, you'd probably be looking around the 24 to 2,600 square feet, four to
Doable.
five bedrooms, 3-stall garage. Um, so it's a nice house. It's not really whoop-de-doo. It's not going to have a lot of the bells and whistles and a lot of the upgrades, but I mean it'll be pretty nice.
What's the whoop-de-doo price point?
I would say the whoop-de-doo price point would be probably $600,000 or above.
Okay. Well, some people are into the whoop-de-doo. I love that.
Yeah.
So when like our community is really big on supporting small businesses. We have family ice cream companies, family barbecue shops, there's just a lot of really long-term small businesses here that
Mhm.
when you live here in Bakersfield, you go to because you want to support small business. Is Iowa City
Mhm.
like that? Because it sounds like it's a pretty metropolitan area. Does it still
Mhm.
have like support local kind of a deal going on there?
Yes,
What's their deal?
yes, it does. Iowa City has a culture to it where people are very interested in um, farm to table movement,
Oh,
farmers markets,
that would
shopping
make sense.
local,
That would make sense.
supporting, Small Business Saturday. Of course, we do have the big box stores. Yes, you're going to be able to go to Target here. Yes, there's a Costco here. Sometimes people think that they're really like moving to Siberia and there's not going to be anything here. Um, but
It's true.
um, there's more than just chains here. So you can find your local restaurants, your local ice cream shops, like small boutique clothing stores, fun stuff like that.
So if somebody is wanting to like start their own gig, right? They're like, you know what? I
Mhm.
want to, I was speaking with Will Friedner. He's in Montana, and he was saying he made a comment about. Is that my feedback or yours?
I'm not hearing feedback.
I have a ton.
Hmm.
So he was saying that the closer you get to the Canada border, the crappier the Mexican food is, right? So that was his
Okay.
was his description. And I thought that was hilarious. And I said, well, then somebody needs to move to Montana and bring California Mexican food to there because we
Hmm.
Californians are big on our Mexican food.
Okay.
So especially tacos. And so if somebody was like that and wanting to
Hmm.
live in Iowa and saying, you know what, I want to move there and I want to open up a taco truck or I want to open up, a Mexican restaurant. What's the opportunity there in your community?
Okay.
Is
I
it
feel like now I don't know. Maybe Mexican food in California is different than Mexican food in Iowa, but I feel like we've got Mexican food fairly covered. We do have some communities here that have a pretty significant Hispanic population because of meat packing plants. So people will come, they want to work in the meat packing plants. And so there's some communities that the majority of the people living in the community are Hispanic. But if you want to make a restaurant that I would really want to go to, I think that we have a shortage of Thai restaurants here.
Ah,
So come bring me a really, really good Thai restaurant, please.
okay.
Yeah.
Not a far off reach, quite honestly.
Okay.
But even like, what if it was like they wanted to start a boutique, or they wanted to, a thrift store or something along those lines? Is it very small business friendly in your area?
Yes, we have a lot of fun thrift stores here. Artifacts is one of them. I think if you go onto my channel and you look on 5 Hidden Gems, that video, you're going to see me pop into a thrift/antique store called Artifacts.
Okay.
That just is, it's like a treasure trove.
Oh,
Um, but because we have the college here, there is a large population of people that are into thrifting and upcycling. Plus college students don't usually have hugely deep pocketbooks, so they're more, you know, willing to shop and search around for deals and things like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thrifting has gotten a whole new life, I would say, in the last handful of years.
Yeah, my son keeps texting me pictures. This kid that I like couldn't get to wear a decent shirt to save my life keeps texting me pictures of T-shirts that he's getting from Goodwill or somewhere. Yesterday, I got a picture of one that was like Count Chocula on it. This is
Old school.
19-year-old.
He's taking it way back with that.
Yeah, 19-year-old T-shirt fashion.
Count Chocula.
Yeah.
Funny. That's the cereal, right? That was the cereal that we used to eat. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
If your mom let you have sugary cereal.
No, not mine. I got well, now they're called Honey Smacks. They were called Sugar Smacks when I was growing up. Now they're called Honey Smacks. I don't like it's sugar. It's sugar. But that was the only one I was like allowed to eat. But
Okay.
whatever. I'm from the 70s, so we had a whole different thing going on. Well, I am super excited for people to potentially sell here in California and move to Iowa City. What would be the biggest, like, you got to let them know this? I mean, I know we can watch your beautiful channel and watch those great videos, but what would be the one thing that you'd be like, okay, don't stand out like a Californian by doing this?
I would say just be prepared for the weather.
Okay.
Iowa has all 4 seasons. Each season can have its own extreme aspects. In the summer, it can be really hot, really humid. We can get some pretty big, growly thunderstorms. Occasionally, we have tornadoes. I don't want you to freak out and think that like there's cows flying through the air. Most of the land in Iowa is open farm fields. So yes, there might be a tornado, but the statistical chances of it hitting your house are very small.
Right.
If there is one, you're supposed to go to your basement and get away from windows.
Right.
If you're in Iowa, you go run outside and try to see it. So
video of it. The rest of us are taking cover. And you're like, watch it.
So weather, and there's a saying that goes, there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just bad gear or bad clothing, which I think is true. So, I mean, just dress appropriately for the weather, think layers. I had a mom and a teenage daughter who just moved up here from Midland, Texas this week. And she said, where should we go buy winter coats? Like, what do we need? Do we need snow pants? Do we need this? Do we need that? And my advice to the teenage daughter was, I know you're going to want a coat that's really cute and like cropped at your waist because they look sassy and cute. But I'm telling you, every time you get in the car and you sit down, it's going to hike up, and then you're going to have that slice of skin between your waistband and the top of the coat that's going to be touching your freezing cold car seat. So just listen to me as a surrogate mother. Get a coat that covers your rear end. That was my advice.
And can you have that and be cute? Because when we go to Illinois, it's not about being cute. It's about being warm. Like, well, I'm wearing my in-laws' coats that are like 2 sizes too big for me, but I'm warm.
You may need to reevaluate what cute is for your winter outdoor gear. Like they could do stitching so that you're like, there's a hint of a waist.
Right? Yeah. It's tucked in just a little bit.
Yeah.
So when it's not cold, are people like in the other seasons, spring, fall, and summer, is there a lot of outdoor like hiking and hiking paths and biking and that kind of thing there?
Yeah. So we do have a large recreation area around here called the Coralville Reservoir and McBride, which is another lake. So you're going to find a lot of hiking there.
Yay.
People don't really recreate in the Iowa River. I just got back from Montana and Colorado, where all of the rivers are gorgeous.
100%.
Full disclosure, not so much here in Iowa. I would not go swimming in the river.
Okay.
Agricultural runoff and stuff, that the water can get kind of murky. I've got kids that like to fish and they fish in it, but nobody's eating those fish, at least not in my family.
Put it back.
Yeah. It's a nasty old catfish anyway. So there's a pretty big bicycling scene here. My husband is a huge biker. Okay. So if you like bicycling, I think you'll find your brethren. If you are into fat
bicycles, pedals, not
yes, bicycles with pedals. Right. If you're into fat biking, which is biking with the really big fat tires, those are awesome because they're all weather. You can ride them in the snow, on the ice, wherever. Okay. And then there is another subset of bicycling called gravel. We have got tons and tons of gravel roads here. So while you may not be like swooping down mountain paths on a mountain bike, you can bike gravel. Iowa has a lot of rolling hills, so you're just out in the middle of nowhere on the gravel exploring the great outdoors.
And what is like an indoor sport? Like, is it going to be hockey? Is it going to be volleyball? What's it going to be?
For kids or adults, what are we talking here?
Either.
Well, I mean, kids do whatever high school sports they're into. So basketball, volleyball. My daughter is big into swimming, so we've got swim team and all sorts of, once you get to that club level, it feels like it's trying to consume your entire life.
We're traveling again this weekend too? Okay.
Yeah. As for me, I mean, I like group exercise classes. I like dance. So Zumba or jazzercise or whatever, whenever I can find a class at 5:30 in the morning before I get busy.
You are my hero. Go with the early morning. Go you on the Zumba.
Yes, yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Well, I think it's been a nice little chat today. It's been so great to introduce you to my channel, the people on my channel to get to know you. And hopefully if on the off chance that somebody wants to move from Iowa to Bakersfield, you hand them to me. Take care of them. Let me just make sure so obviously we know you're on YouTube. Are you on the other platforms as well? Facebook and the Talk and the
Yeah, I am on Facebook. I have a TikTok account. I have not posted anything. It's on my long list of things that I am supposed to be doing.
Right.
And Instagram is kind of that way for me also. You can find me on there, but I'm not incredibly active. So currently the best places to find me are either on YouTube or Facebook, or you could just call me or text me.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get that number. Give me your number and I'll punch it in.
319 594 4455.
All right, I'll put that one up right now for people to see. They can call you right now.
And I help a lot of relocation clients. So if you want to come and you want to look at houses all weekend long, we can plan it out. If it needs to be virtual, I do help people with a lot of virtual showings. We create videos, load them onto Facebook under a private link, so only you and your, friends and grandma can look at them.
Yes.
So I know it sounds scary, but you would be surprised at the number of houses people buy sight unseen.
I have helped several. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of trust that people put in us, right? We're like, did we cover? Did I show the baseboards? Did I show the window? Did I, I've gone home and I'm like, did I show them everything? Are they still going to buy it? Like, it's a little pressure.
I try really hard to give a very realistic picture. And we look around the neighborhood, and if something smells bad or looks funny or squeaks funny, I really try hard to show it all.
Right. And I have a question. So I chatted with an agent, and she was in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and we look at our lots as like a 10,000 square foot lot. It's 8,240. So how do you guys identify your lots there? Is it square footage? Is it acreage? Like, what's the marker?
It's acreage. So like the standard in-town lot would be about a quarter acre to a third acre.
Wow.
A larger, more suburban lot might be a half an acre. And you know, you can find lots that are an acre or larger, and
Okay.
they'll still be within subdivision. So it's not like you're way out in the country or something.
And do you guys have a lot of new construction happening there?
We do. The Iowa City, the space between Iowa City and Coralville is called the corridor, and it is the fastest growing section in Iowa right now. Des Moines is going gangbusters, and the corridor is going gangbusters. So
Okay.
yes, we have a lot of new construction going on. A lot of that is going to be located sort of on the northern side of the Iowa City Metro, so Tiffin and North Liberty. But you can find new construction in Iowa City and Coralville also.
Okay. So, and that, and, you know, sometimes that's a nice place for people to start. Is that like a first time home buyer, that new construction? Are they buying a townhome in that new construction? Is it a, like a gated community? What tends to be the
We
norm?
don't have any gated communities here.
Oh,
No guards, nothing like that. Um, so first time home buyers, I mean, it just depends on what your budget is. But say you come to me with a budget of 250,000.
okay.
You may be able to find a very small, somewhat dated single family house in Iowa City for that. We're talking like a little 3-bedroom ranch with a 1-stall garage, and
Right.
everything is little and dated. Or if you're really trying to find something newer, I would recommend you consider a zero lot line, which
What's that?
is two single family houses that share one wall down the middle. So a lot of people mistakenly call them a duplex, but a duplex is a property where both sides are conveyed at once. A zero lot line, they are conveyed separately. So there's no HOA, and they're two separate properties that are just adjoining.
They have
With
their
a
own
zero,
ID numbers, right? It's not the same.
Mhm,
Mhm,
yeah.
the duplex. Okay.
So with a zero lot line, you'll be able to get a lot more square footage and much newer construction. You
Okay.
still have a yard. You can still fence your yard separately. You just have that shared wall.
And here's an odd question, because I know you guys get snow. So in some of those newer developments, are they putting in like community clubhouses and pools and pickleball courts and tennis courts? Are they doing that, or is it just like green belts and parks in the?
No, there's only one HOA in the greater Iowa City area that has a pool.
Okay.
And it does have a basketball court, maybe a tennis court, but it's the only one. It's Country Club Estates. You can find a neighborhood tour on my channel for that.
Love it.
But otherwise, there's communal green space, parks and things like that.
Sure.
But no pools, no pickleball courts, no clubhouses.
Buying a house with a pool here in Bakersfield, it's not for everybody, but when
Mhm.
they move from an area that is, like if they're moving from the coast, or, where they have an easier access to the beach, I always advocate for a pool, because this heat is brutal, and you're going to want to get wet, right? Like it's just,
Yeah.
so there's not a lot. I wouldn't imagine there's a lot of houses out there with pools.
So we actually sold our house this past summer and bought a new one. And the house I sold had an in-ground pool. And I'm like, thank God I am done with that albatross around my neck.
Really?
Yes. Like, it's such a money pit. I mean, the weather is so hard on pools and pool equipment here. And there's no pool boys. It's this person doing all the work all the time.
Yes. I can't imagine a pool service company would do extremely well up there. I wouldn't imagine.
No.
We have pool service companies all over the place. And solar. Do you guys have solar there? Is that a big thing there?
Not a big thing.
Okay.
Everything starts on the coast and works its way inward.
Yeah.
There's a few houses here that have solar panels, but it's not a big thing yet.
Yeah. So between running a pool company and running a solar either install or a solar cleaning company, that's not what they're going to want to start when they move to Iowa. They're going to want to go with something a little different, like a Thai restaurant for you.
Well, I mean, maybe there is space for a pool company who will clean and service pools, because there are some around, but there's no pool boys or girls.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, you don't have a like in a block of maybe 12 houses, over half of those houses are going to have pools. I mean,
Oh,
that's just
wow.
how common it is.
Yeah.
And when we were having the craziness of 2020 and 2021,
Mhm.
it was a bloodbath trying to get a buyer into a house with a pool because they're a hot ticket anyway. But
Uh-huh.
then with that craziness, it was like, what were we getting? 10, 12 offers on a property. When it had a pool, you knew you were going to be up there in the 20s with offers on a house with a pool. You're like, oh, for crying out loud. Oh,
Oh,
so
boy.
I was thankful when somebody didn't want a house with a pool, or like they were
Mhm.
willing to look at a community that had a community pool, because it was like, okay, we're a little bit in the more reasonable tone. We don't have
Yeah.
that. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I would say if you wanted something extra on a house here, what you want is a screened-in porch.
Because of
Covered screened-in porch. The bugs can't bother you. You sit out there, you sip your iced tea, you read your book, you listen to the cicadas, but no mosquitoes can get to you.
Oh, cicadas. I love listening to them. I don't like looking at them though. Those
Yeah.
thick bodies and weird
Yeah.
shells. Blech.
They're a little freaky.
They are. Oh my gosh. Um, there was
Mhm.
another question I had about houses, about what we were talking about with the houses. I don't know. 52. It'll come to me probably at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and I'll be like, dang, I should have asked her. Hang on.
Mhm.
It was about houses.
Let's talk about average or median sold price. You had mentioned that. So tell me what your median sold price is. I'll tell you what mine is, and we can.
We are currently, a median sales price is currently, I want to say, right, 469, 468.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's for
And
everything. Single family condos.
that's a single family home, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in a really,
Mhm.
established part of town. That's not new construction. That's
Okay.
resale.
So I did some research for you.
Good.
The median sold price for a single family house here in the greater Iowa City area here in 2022 is $360,000.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and doable.
Yes. If that's too much, but you don't want a condo, you don't want HOAs, the median sold price for a 0 lot is $275,000,
Wow.
and the median sold price for a condo is $220,000.
Wow. See,
Which would be that would be a pretty nice condo. I mean, there's plenty of 2-bedroom, 1-bath condos around in that like 130 range.
right. 130, you said?
Mm-hmm. For
One,
a little itty bitty
yeah.
2-bedroom, 1-bath, 850 square foot condo.
Right. I showed, if we were looking at a house at the 275, 325 window, it's going to
Mhm.
need some TLC, whether it's a
Okay.
first time home buyer or an investment. Those are going to
Mhm.
need some TLC. But so a 130 condo, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, that's not going to need some TLC. That's move-in ready, huh?
I mean, it's not going to be super fancy. We're not talking like granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and everything, but it will be fully functional and not disgusting.
It will get you into the market, which is
Yes.
key, especially right
Mhm.
now, I think. This was my question, has your market slowed a little bit with like all of the drama with the interest rates and whatnot? Has it kind of slowed
Yes.
down a little
I
bit?
mean, we started off this year gangbusters, and then I would say around June and July, August, it just kind of went.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not totally dead. Our current month supply of inventory, well, as of September, we're sitting at about 3.4. So, I mean, that's still compared to what it was,
Right.
that feels neutral, inching towards buyer's market. But I know if you're just looking at like straight numbers in a real estate textbook, that's not buyer's market zone.
Yeah.
But we're seeing things like inspections are back, buyer concessions are back. Like buyers have some power again.
Yes. Same
Yeah.
here. I mean, I
Mhm.
think some of the newer agents that might have gotten into real estate in the late, in the early 2020, they don't really, they kind of don't really know what to do right now. Like we're
Mhm.
back to negotiating, and we're back to trying to get a win-win instead of just dumping money.
Yeah.
Here, just take all my money, give me the house, right?
Right.
So that is, kind of rubbing a little bit for some of the newer agents that were like,
Mhm.
what's negotiating? Like it's a counter, and then it's another counter, and then yeah, we're going to keep going back and forth until we find a win-win. That's how it works, you know? So it's interesting to find some of those agents that may not know how to do that. So
Yeah.
you've been an agent for a while. Yeah.
I have about 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about 5. So those of us that have been in it a while, we kind of know that drill, right? Versus some of the agents that kind of don't really know about like negotiating, like how it works.
Right. And selling houses takes longer now too. It used to be you put whatever you want out there, any price on it, and it would sell. And now I feel like my seller clients are needing to work for it a little bit more.
Yes, I'm back to having like, because when it was crazy, you know, you didn't have to have the weekly conversation, right? And email, and here's what it's doing on the MLS. Here's what's being, you know, here's how it's being found on YouTube. Here's how it's being found on Google. You know, now we're back to having those conversations and that weekly email with my sellers where they want to know what are you doing for me, because we haven't had any showings in a week or whatever. And it's like, it's still getting eyeballs.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to do a lot of that in 2020 and 2021. That's for sure.
Right.
Yay. Well, I'm just thrilled. I mean, I could sit here and chat with you for hours, but I'll be respectful of your time. I will put up your email yet again for people to call you or email you. And, and I'm sure you have like a relocation guide or something for them to take away.
Yes. It's offered all over my YouTube page. So if you go watch any of my videos, just click on the title of the video and the description box will open up, and all my contact information, my relocation guide link, where it is going to ask you for an email. I'm trying to capture a little information, but it's okay. I won't harass you endlessly.
Right.
Yeah. You can find all of that pretty easily on YouTube.
Well, and then that helps them when they come to town. They obviously want to look and they want to drive around. It gives people their own pacing. You know, they can figure out where they want to go, a certain neighborhood or part of town that maybe they've watched a video where you've shared a tour of, and then they go, okay, we really like this area. So it helps them, not just you. It helps them like narrow down the scope of like, we don't want to be in this part of town. We don't want to have a condo. We do want a house. We thought we wanted condos. So it's good. It's good for everybody.
So I did think of one thing that I frequently talk about with my California clients is they come here and they say, like your sense of distance is different than ours because commute times are a lot longer in larger metropolitan areas.
Okay.
So people will come in and they'll say, oh, I want to live within 20 to 25 minutes of where I work. And I'm like, okay, that's everywhere. And
that's a very good answer. Yeah. We deal with everything in minutes. You guys do miles?
Yeah, miles. But if you tell me you want to live within 20 to 25 minutes of where you work, I mean, that's going to be Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, Tiffin, Solon, West Branch. Like, I don't think people realize the differences in size.
So you guys don't have big commute hours like in Southern California or Northern California. I mean, if you need to be somewhere by a certain time that's between 3 and 6, you got to really strategize which freeway and how you're going to get there. You don't have to do that there.
No.
Not even close. It's not even an option. You just go. You be there at 3:30, leave at 3.
Yeah. No, it commuting is just really not a thing here. So
what a lovely concept.
Yeah.
I used to live in Southern California, so I had the adjustment of moving up into the central part of California. And as the longer I've lived here, the busier it's gotten. It's grown as well. So we do have a little bit of a commute time, nothing like Northern and Southern California. So that's a delight to hear from somebody that's a California native to move. Like there's no commute time. You just drive there. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
How beautiful.
The majority of the interstates are 2 lanes each way, not like 4 or 6 or
8
craziness. Yeah.
It's 8 and then 2 are carpool. Yeah, there's a lot of us here. Here's another question for you that I would like to ask is, what is the population of the Iowa City and the surrounding areas that you guys have? Like, what would that be?
The Iowa City metro, so Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, and Tiffin is about 120,000.
Oh, okay.
Iowa City itself is about 75,000. So
still doable, still
Yeah.
plenty of people to,
Mhm.
but yet not too many people. Like Bakersfield, we have the Bakersfield area, and then we have like a lot of smaller communities, and then we talk about our county as a whole.
Okay.
So Bakersfield as a whole is probably right around high 4s to low 6s, is like 475, depending on how they count,
Mhm.
about 600,000. But then the surrounding areas, we're up into the, the 8 areas, 800,000. We've got, mountain communities and whatnot. So
That makes me feel like
does that make you feel claustrophobic? Like that's a lot of people.
so many people. Yeah.
That's small compared to, LA County and LA is, there's 8 million people there.
I
Hello.
think the whole state of Iowa has like 3 million or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I chatted
Mhm.
with Will Friedner the other day. The whole state of Montana like just broke 1 million.
Wow.
The whole state.
Mhm.
And it's like the 3rd largest state in our country. Like what?
Yeah.
What? It's just a lot of mountains, I guess. Mountains and trails and lakes.
And bears.
And bears. Yes. Oh my.
Mm.
Well, thank you, Emily. I appreciate you so much coming on and chatting with all of the people that want to move to Iowa City, because I'm going to hand them to you lovingly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, ring me or text me. I would be happy to chat with you if you have questions about the greater Iowa City area. You know how to find me.
And we can fall in love with you on your channel as well on YouTube.
Yes. Yes. Every single week, putting out a video.
Love it. Love it.
Some better than others.
Same, girl. Same.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Emily. I appreciate it.
All
Have
right.
a good afternoon. Okay.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.